Good afternoon, Gary Cross, Heirloom Popcorn Seed. I'm here in my Hawaiian shirt, which I really like. It's very comfortable. It's extraordinarily hot outside, not good on crops when it's this humid and hot. And hope that the heat wave and the heat warning will pass in the next few days. We're expecting rain, so that'll be a good thing to cool issues off. I wanted to talk a little bit about today, and I have before, but I seem to want to repeat myself, so forgive me. I'm interested in talking about the books I wrote, and like to get more play with them and more people interested in reading them. I'm going to start out talking about my most recent book, which is The Farmer and the Seedsman, which talks about my trials and tribulations working in the seed industry pre biotech. So before we had Roundup soybeans, Roundup insect resistant corns, all these different resistant varieties. We had to go out there and farm and fight everything. And I think you'll find the farmer stories very good, and you'll find that a lot of the issues we worked on were very fruitful. And I think we did a pretty good job of farming even before we got the biotech industry really involved in where we were going in agriculture. I'm going to go back. I've wrote some Western books. I wrote The Last Vaquero about a person who grows up dirt poor in Mexico and becomes a ranch owner in southwest Texas, in eastern New Mexico, and he goes through all the struggles of getting there. It's a cowboy book. I think you'll enjoy it. I wrote a series called The Common Westerner. The Journeys of Silas Johnson was my first book. This goes through a series of him growing up in Ohio and moving out to the West on his own, and all the different trials and tribulations that he has met. And then I have the second book was where he decides to become an Army scout and is accepted into the U.S. Cavalry as a scout, and all the issues he faced in war. Of course, this is all fiction. And then the last one in the series of The Common Westerner is Silas Johnson becoming an area sheriff or local sheriff, and some of the major issues he dealt with as a sheriff. I think they're pretty good, and if you enjoy easy reading westerns, I think you will enjoy these books. I've also wrote some other types of book. I wrote a book called Hemp: The Struggles and the Cost. I had worked in it in North Carolina State when I was with that, and the Louisiana Department of Ag. But majority of it's about my trials and tribulations of starting out with the Farm Bill. I think it was 2014 or 16 when it started coming out, 2018. Not totally for sure on that, but and it shows the pitfalls of growing industrial hemp and a lot of the snake oil issues that were involved in industrial hemp. Hoping it'd be a guide for somebody who wants to get into growing it to kind of read through what their options are and investments they need to make and make sure that things are legitimate. Of course, I wrote a book on customer service. I still think it's an important element. The name of the book is Customer Service: How It Once Was and What It Can Be Today. And it's pretty tough on customer service today. I even criticize some of the issues I think have always been ridiculous in customer service from large groups and others that think they're very good at customer service, but in some sectors of their business that's not very good. Whether they're trying to improve that or not, I don't know. Maybe they'll read my book and it'll help them. But anyway, it's good for a person starting out in business. It's good for a young person who's never had a lot of customer service experience or working with the public, needs to understand and desire these types of issues within an organization, how to work with the public and treating people with respect and dignity, because customer service in especially in people over 40 is still a big thing, and people are interested in that, whether it's online or whether it's in person or mail order or whatever. So I encourage you to read that book. I wrote a book called Popcorn Journey, which is a history of popcorn observations I've made, and research and observations on over 100 different types of heirloom type popcorns. Popcorn Journey is very pictorial. It's very easy reading. It's not boring in relation to describing all those varieties. I also talk a little bit about health, a little fun with kids in it, a little history of popcorn, my history with popcorn, and I think you would really enjoy that book. Another one I wrote is a health book, and I think popcorn is extraordinarily underrated as one of the healthiest foods ever created by God. And I think you need to really look at it as a daily supplement in your diet. It has polyphenols. It has the best antioxidants. Has more fiber than any fruit or anything that you're eating, except for maybe chia seeds in the world. And it has iron more than eggs and spinach. And it's good to eat and fun to eat if you don't, coat it in everything and go from there. And don't overindulge. The starch, they say, well, it's bad for diabetics. Well, there's a lot of fiber, which is good for diabetics. There's a lot of protein in it, which is good for diabetics. I know because I'm diabetic, and I have not seen it raise my blood level. Not other people, it might, but you can talk it over with your doctor, but read through that book, and I guarantee you that you will start looking at it from a different perspective. This is not snake oil. This is USDA information and researched articles on popcorn with nurses, dietitians, physicians that have, and researchers that have looked at this. So I highly recommend you, and you can get all these books on Amazon Kindle, or you can write me at heirloom popcorn seed at gmail.com, or you can go to my website, heirloompopcornseed.com. I've also wrote a series of children's books. In fact, I got two more coming out that I haven't got to editor or publisher. They're going to be called the Popcorn Superheroes. And basically all my issues related to youth popcorn, that's the name of the series, is called Youth Popcorn. Youth Popcorn, Planting My Popcorn, Youth Popcorn, Popcorn Day, Youth Popcorn, Popping My Popcorn, Youth Popcorn, a Popcorn Christmas. I wrote a Popcorn 4th of July, Popcorn Halloween. So, I'm looking at popcorn as healthy alternatives during all those issues, and there's Santa stories and 4th of July stories. I've also wrote, but haven't published, two popcorn Thanksgiving and a popcorn Valentine's, and I just haven't got around to all that. So I've got 4 I need to put into publication, and the two popcorn superhero books, and the two popcorn Valentine's and popcorn Thanksgiving I need to get out. So, but I've wrote several of those books that are out there. They're also, just type in youth popcorn and they'll pop up. And they're very good reading for young people. They're interesting reading. They're fun reading for you and your family. And eat popcorn while you're reading them. And they learn a little bit about agriculture and a little bit about life. So put them on your to-do and to read list. I'm writing some other books. I'm going in a little different direction. I wrote a lot of books on popcorn, so I'm writing a suspense thriller book, mystery. I'm also writing one on UFOs, a fictional. These are all fictional books. These aren't nonfiction books. And I'm also writing a love story during the Korean War, and trying to finish 3 books at one time. So I've got a lot of books in the pike, and I've got a lot of books I'm working on. So there's other issues I may want to work on, but I wanted to be well-rounded and write a book maybe in just about every genre I could. So got my book I'd really like to write, but it's going to take 2 or 3, maybe 5 years to write it, in relation to all the corns uh, of the Native Americans in the USA, in North America, and partially in Mexico, and how corn was important to the societies of the Native Americans, and how there were great farming communities in the Southwest, with different tribes, the Navajos, all a lot of the different tribes in the Southwest, um, all through the plains, everywhere. So, but I need to plan all that out, research it, photograph it, and then do the history research on it, to make it. And that takes years to do and money to do. So that's something I've got on the agenda. May or may not get done, but at least it's an idea. So please, if you're interested, please go on Amazon Kindle and look up those books. They're very cheap on Kindle. And or write me and I can send you a copy, and I may autograph it if that's what you require, even though my autograph's not famous. But I do consider myself a little bit of an authority on popcorn, so um, maybe someday people will recognize that. And if they don't, that's no big deal because I don't have any ego toward that. I did a lot of work on it, enjoy it. I also am involved in a popcorn seed business of our heirloom popcorn seeds, and it's very small, but it keeps me busy in looking at things. I lost a full year of harvested popcorn to meal bugs. Had to throw out. It was destroyed by it, and so I had to get rid of it, and I lost that year. But that's no big deal because I got 6 years stored in a safe storage location uh, in the United States. So look that up. Go on Amazon Kindle. Go on my website, heirloompopcornseed.com. I've been working on a group called Variety Popcorn for several years, and I haven't got that going. There's only so much money, and sometimes the well goes dry, and you have to back off and try again in a different manner. So that may be a reality, but it may take a little longer than I thought. So uh, I'm keep plugging away, and I hope many of you who have ideas and entrepreneurial ideas keep plugging away. And we'll be back next time, and we'll talk more, either about books, about agriculture, the history of agriculture, popcorn. I'm trying to stay away from political subjects. The farm bill is a political subject, but that needs to be discussed. So let's look at different types of issues in the future, and go from there. And you can subscribe, you can join, you can write me. Be glad to answer any questions you have. So thank you. Happy popping, and good afternoon.